inspection. Let me show you guys how I get ready for my home inspection. I've got my electrical meter test. This is a critical time. You work all the way up to this point to be able to sell your property. You've got your property under contract, you ordered your home inspector or the home inspection and or the appraisal. What are some of the things you need to be looking out for? What are some of the things that you can do to ensure that you pass your inspection? We're going to do that. We're going to go through this house and show you guys how I prepare myself for home inspections and or appraisals. If you stick around, you'll also find out some of the tricks of the trade that you can use. You may be in a situation where you want to pull your money out of the property. And there's sometimes when you buy a property like this one that's already has a lot of great features in it, it may be missing a few minor things to qualify for a traditional mortgage. You know you're going to rent this property out, so you may have secured the property with a hard money loan or a private money loan, and you want to get out of that high interest rate loan as soon as possible. So I'll show you a couple things that you can do to get that property ready to qualify for that new inspection, so that way you can hurry up and turn that property over to the new loan. Let's take a look at it. Let's walk through this property. Let's see what's up. So right off the bat, you hear the beeping going on in the background. These are some of the critical things that you got to pay attention to. Home inspection is looking for two major things: health and hazard. We're looking for any hazardous materials. If this floor was missing a few tiles, that would be a hazard type of situation. If the chimney here, and we'll just go ahead and start here. So we'll set this stuff down, we'll walk through the house. Let's look for a few different things that are going to come up on the inspection that you need to know and pay attention to, so that way you are prepared, right? So let's remove this right here. So in this chimney, you've actually got this hatch. Take a look at this. So you've also got this hatch right here that has to open and it has to close. A lot of people nowadays, especially here in California, we don't use fireplaces like that. I remember my last house, we had basically put the gas line in here and buried this with glass, mosaic style glass. And so we made it more of a decorative piece. We painted the back black, and we were there for about 8 years, and I don't think we used it once. So these can become stuck, they can be corroded and jammed, because what happens is birds, they live at the top of your chimneys, they drop feces, they drop things down in there and cause it to wedge. So you just want to open that, make sure it runs freely. A little bit of WD-40 goes a long way when it comes to something like that. So make sure your hatches for your chimney, that is something that a lot of people look over because they just don't think, hey, the chip, well, that's a hazardous. If somebody lights a fire, that smoke is not able to excel and get out, that's another hazardous situation. Let's go in the kitchen and show you right here. Now, here in California, we've got a 6 feet rule. So 6 feet from water sources, we need to make sure that our plugs are GFI protected, and there's 2 ways. That's why I chose this house, because there's actually 2 ways that you can have GFI protected outlets. You can have a protected outlet that actually trips right at the outlet here, and you can reset it right here from the outlet, okay? And then you have these. These are actually still GFI protected off of the main electrical line, but they're actually still GFI protected. And so what you have to do is you have to make sure that they're labeled at the end of the day. So understand your city's code. You see, now I reset it there. And we're back on. So understand your city's code. For us, it's 6 feet, used to be 5 feet. Make sure you stay abreast of those things so you understand what is needed in your area, okay? The other thing, smoke detectors. So I was actually changing a smoke detector back here. And so carbon monoxide and smoke detectors are very important. Let's find one that we have to change. I think we've got one this way. So we've got our carbon monoxide detector. It's around here somewhere. Okay. So we've got one right here. And if you haven't changed out a smoke detector before, shame on you. All right. It's very simple. You basically just look for your positives and your negatives, and they're labeled. Slip that baby in there, like so. Now I'm 6 feet. I'm 6'1", So for me, that's a simple fix, right? Goes a long way. These properties, this one here is hardwired in. So if one is missing a battery, they're all going to still beep. So make sure your carbon monoxide detectors and your smoke detectors are not only working, but they're in the proper place. A lot of people don't realize that. That's an important piece to it, is that you will actually miss out on, you actually get hit out and called out on that if your carbon monoxide detector is not placed properly. And it should be placed near your bedrooms, is where it should be. If you have your carbon monoxide detector on the other side of the house and your bedroom's on this side of the house, it's 2 screws, take it off, relocate it, and move it over. The other thing too, you want to make sure your GFIs are also in your bathrooms. So we've got, again, near water sources, all our GFIs are in our bathroom as well. One last thing I want to show you guys. Very important, and this is another thing that can be mixed or missed over. So one thing that you can check for that must be done is this here, double strapped, okay? So, and it depends on the type of borrower. So when we fix these houses up, we want to make sure that we're swimming in the big pool. I call it the big pool. I want to make sure that as many borrowers can qualify for this as possible. So an FHA or any type of government buying loan is going to require all these safety things that we're going over today. So make sure that these are very inexpensive, but also you have a drip pan. So your water heater, I know at least here in California, needs to have a drip pan. We also need to have a double strapped water heater for that. These installation tubes are nice, but not required. So again, understand what's required and what's just nice to have, just to help do that. We make sure our filters are changed. Now, in our bathrooms, let's talk really quick about some of the things that can come up in your property to help you pass inspection before you get into the rehab phase. There's been times where I purchased a home and I needed to buy the property quick, so I used a hard money or a private money loan, but I didn't want to carry that home in that type of loan product because it's a high interest rate loan, right? So some of the things that these are also things that you need to do to pass your inspection to get your home over to a traditional conventional mortgage, a HELOC, or a government type of loan. If you're still at your beginning stages of investing, you can still use those vehicles, right? Secure the property with a hard money loan and hurry up and get out of that loan over to a traditional mortgage, especially if you know it's going to be a property that you're going to end up renting anyway. So what will happen is a lot of the older homes that you're going to buy won't have proper ventilation, right? They may have a window, they may have a ventilation, but it might be old, it might not be properly ventilated. So what happens is up here, you'll actually get a lot of mold dots, okay? And that right there is also a failure for inspection. So a few different tricks of the trade. Bleach water goes a long way. If that does not work, there's a product called Kills. It's called Kills. It's just basically white paint. It has an ammonia-based product inside of it. So definitely wear a mask. But that right there will kill out any, if you're looking to get rid of urine smells for pets, mold, spores, also smoke. If it was a house with a heavy smoker and you want to get rid of that smell, those are some tricks for you that you can use to get rid of that. One other thing, let me show you guys outside. So when you're looking at property to buy, here in California, your roof, that's another big thing, okay? So looking at the ceiling for leaks, popping up that attic hatch, going up there to look to see if there are any leaks that you can see on the underside. This is what your attic will look like inside. Of course, it won't be painted, right? So what you want to do is you want to look for staining, you want to look for any type of evidence of leak. And that's going to let you know that that's exactly what the inspector is going to see. He's going to do the same exact type of inspection. And if you have that, you know that's a good indication to mark down on your scope of work that you need roof repair, okay? Another thing is you may have a good roof and it may just need some light repair, or it's less expensive if you just want to go over the roof instead of doing a complete tear off. especially if you don't have eaves that are rotten, or they're like in this case, these are really good eaves here, and supporting joists. So if we had termite damage or we had mold or any type of issue like that, then we would have to replace those. But as far as the roof is concerned, I know here it can't be more than 2 layers. So when you're looking at a property to possibly buy, that's another thing to consider, right? But also for your inspection, keep that in mind too, knowing that when you buy that property, a 2-layer roof is about as high as you can go for a property here in California. So look for what are some of the inspection calls, what the inspections call out in your area. Make sure you're staying abreast of those type of things. And that's why it's always good to go to network meetings and network events, because those are the places where you can actually talk to other investors, ask questions, and find out what those inspection items that are needed for your area. Hey, this is Terrence Lewis. Thanks for rocking with me yet again. I appreciate it. If you have questions about inspections, or I missed anything, you know of any other inspections that will help others, don't forget, you guys are a community. Comment below. Make sure you ask any questions, answer any questions that you guys see below, and I will make sure I will answer any questions as well. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Terrence Lewis, LewisHelps. I'm out.